Hello, welcome to our final 10-day cycle of our community Panchakarma, and I am bringing the ever elusive Neti Pot video to you today. We're going to do an instructional, and I'm going to introduce a very new way of using it. Probably not many of you have experienced, even those of you who have worked with Neti Pot for quite a while. So first, I want to just go into the basics for standard use of a Neti Pot. A lot of people feel uncomfortable working with a Neti Pot their first time. They have a little nervousness around it. They're concerned about how it's going to feel. They often worry about choking on the water. You don't need to worry about choking on the water, okay? I mean, have you ever gone swimming in a pool and sometimes the water goes up your nose and a little of it goes down your throat? I mean, you cough it out. It's no big deal. And you're not even going to have that much water coming in. We're really looking at just like a little trickle. So it's no big deal. And that can completely be avoided. It's not going to block your breathing at all. I actually can talk while I'm giving myself Neti Pot. I am not going to be talking while I demonstrate the actual nasal irrigation for you, though, because of what I'm working with today. And I want to just get a nice steady flow with it. So I'm going to do all my talking beforehand, and then I will demonstrate and show you what it looks like, okay? So you want to make sure that when you're going to do your Neti Pot, you are in front of a sink, okay? I'm in front of my sink here, all right? I got everything ready to clear everything out. And that's just because you're going to have water coming out. You want somewhere to catch it, okay? And you want to have a Neti Pot, all right? This beautiful Neti Pot was made for me by my dear friend. She's like a sister to me, Danielle, and I've been friends with her since I was 15 years old. She threw this Neti Pot on the potter's wheel, and then she hand formed the spout, and she did this finish. Isn't it gorgeous? It is gorgeous. If you are in the Northern California area, she has her pottery at different locations in that Humboldt area. So do look her up. You can get in touch with her through Instagram at Flux Blossom, and I'm sure she can give you a heads up about where you can find her wares. And also, I don't know, maybe she might be open to do some shipping if you're not in the Northern California area. So, check her out. She does amazing pottery work. It's just so beautiful. Everything she creates is so beautiful. So I was so grateful to receive this as a gift. It's my favorite Neti Pot. Now, with the Neti Pot, it's all about the solution you make. Traditionally, we use distilled water, and anywhere from half a teaspoon to about a teaspoon of pure sea salt to 1 cup of distilled water for the solution. And you really want to make sure that you mix up those salt granules so they get all integrated with the water. You want to make sure that your water is tepid. You don't want it cold. That's not going to be comfortable. You also don't want it too hot. Your tissues and your nasal passages are really sensitive. So make sure you test your water temperature beforehand. But if it's room temperature, it's going to be just fine, okay? The key with not getting it to go down your throat, and I'm just going to tell you, as you start to work with it, you're going to have a few experiences where maybe the water goes all over the place. Don't get frustrated. It's just part of the learning curve. We all go through it. It's your initiation into Neti Pot. Why would you want to use Neti Pot anyway? If it can get messy, if it can be a little bit of a learning curve, well, I'll tell you, it's excellent if you deal with allergies. If you have chronic sinusitis, if you get chronic sinus infections, it's so helpful for preventing colds and flus. I'll tell you, I've been working with the Neti Pot for about 4 years now, and I have not gotten sick at all. And I actually have a genetic health condition, lung condition. And prior to that, I was getting sick constantly. And I had nasal infections constantly and was always being put on antibiotics. And I did all the traditional medical route stuff. And I didn't really rehab my immune system, get healthy, strengthen my lungs, and get beyond all these chronic sinus infections until I brought in the Neti Pot and, of course, the other self-care methods that Ayurveda provides. So prevention is the key as far as I'm concerned. And we know that people are really concerned, right, about flus, colds, especially in the last couple of years. So this is an ally, through cold and flu season, okay? So do consider working with this. And it's okay. Try something new. And speaking of trying something new, a beneficial practice with Neti Pot is to work with it for 21 days in a row, okay? Because it helps you unravel patterns, negative patterns of behavior. If you're trying to overcome something, like maybe you're having issues with late night eating. Maybe you have some kind of addiction you want to kick. Maybe you're trying to start some kind of new healthy habit. Neti Pot daily can really help. It also gives you clarity. It helps open up your vision because it's stimulating to that third eye chakra. And it is also very nourishing for the occipital nerve, okay, which is so important. So if you deal with any of those occipital nerve conditions, getting that pain running through the jaw, down the side of your neck, so beneficial, especially with the method I'm going to share with you today. And the method I'm sharing with you today, I'm not using distilled water. I'm not going to use sea salt. I'm going to use a surprise ingredient that is so nourishing for the nervous system, and it actually will feed that occipital nerve chain, and from there it just nourishes the entire nervous system. It is so relieving for the mind, and it helps you just feel so calm and centered in yourself. It's just a really beautiful neti, and it feels amazing. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to give myself this neti today. I usually only do this in Panchakarma, so it's something I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to experiencing it. But before I do that, I just want to show you how you would position the neti pot. Okay, because when I'm doing my neti, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to let you witness, okay? So very simple. It's all about head position to keep it from going down your throat, all right? You don't want to have your head back. If you have your head back, even if you have your head level, it's going to have a tendency to go a little bit down your throat. You want your head just slightly forward and to the side, okay? Leaning towards the opposite side of where you have the spout inserted into your nose. I know this is not glamorous. What can I say? The things I do for you people, okay? You insert this into your nose, and then you simply lean forward over the sink, okay? Lean forward over the sink, head tilted a little bit forward and to the side, all right? You might need to work with your angle a little bit, especially the first few times you do it, but just let it empty out, and then you'll simply switch over to the other side. You want to make sure you do both sides. Start on the right side, finish on the left. I am going to pull my hair back because I don't want to get any of this in my hair. I got really long hair. It's down to my butt now, so it can really get in the way of stuff like this. I'm just going to take my hair back real quick here, and then I'm going to introduce the surprise ingredient that I'm using today for my neti, okay? So I got to make sure the temperature is right. That feels perfect. Okay, so you can give yourself a neti with warm ghee. I know, right? Really? Are you for real, Shannon? Are you going to put warm ghee up your nose? Yes. Yes, I am. And it's going to be the most wonderful thing ever. Now, this is very important. If you're going to use warm ghee, you could also do warm sesame oil. If you did warm sesame oil, please make sure you use raw, cold pressed sesame oil. Don't use the roasted stuff, okay? Really good quality oil. But the ghee is just like so, it is so yum yum, so wonderful, so fabulous. And I got my ghee already warmed up. You want to test it. Test it with your fingertip, okay? Make sure that it's, you know, the right temperature. You want it the temperature of like a baby's bottle, okay? Tepid, tepid, all right? You do not want hot oil up your nose. You will hurt yourself, okay? You have been warned, all right? So I'm just gonna pour half of this in there so I can demonstrate for you. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so excited, all right? And you'll want to make sure you have like some kind of napkin or something nearby so you can, you know, just kind of clean up your face. Do not blow. Do not blow forcefully out of your nose. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. It feels so good. It's just like you feel this instant sinking into your body. It feels so amazing. I cannot tell you how amazing it feels. It's so wonderful. All right, I'm going to do the other side. Now, I do want to let you know, you have to be a little bit more patient when you're doing it with the ghee or oil in general, because it has more of a thicker quality, all right? So it's not going to run through as fast as it normally does. You noticed it was kind of more like sort of a thin trickling stream. And that's normal, okay? So you just be a little bit patient. You might have to really like kind of lean your head forward, but it's obviously, it's not going to hurt you, right? Okay, you do the other side now. I bet nobody's done that on YouTube before. Oh my gosh. I like to just kind of, just massage it into my nasal passages a little bit. Okay. And I mean, I can't help myself. I love ghee. I love ghee. I love ghee. I love to use it on my face. I love to use it as a moisturizer. Do you know that ghee most accurately mimics our natural lipids? Okay, so it's like such a good face cream. It will give your skin the most beautiful glow. And there's actually a face cream, a cold cream that you can make with ghee that won't have that buttery smell to it, okay? It actually has no smell to it. And it's called 100 times washed ghee. And I've made that for myself. I'm going to be making up another batch of that for myself. It's really simple to do. You just get your ghee. So if you have store-bought ghee, that's fine too. You can use that. But you get your ghee and you put it in a bowl. And then you pour purified water over it. and you just kind of mix it around with your hand for a few seconds, okay? And then you drain the water off, and then you keep doing that 100 times, okay? It's a labor of love. It's a sadhana. You could do mantra while you are doing that, just really putting the energy into it. You could do some kind of, Shakti mantra would be wonderful. Just something to invoke that beauty. Sundari Mantra is excellent for that. You can look that up. That's also to invoke beauty. And you just, each time, you pour in some water, you mix it around with your hand, washing that ghee, all right? You don't want to do this when the ghee is liquefied. Wait until it's room temperature and it's solid, and then do the washing, okay? And it'll just make things easier. You don't want to use hot water when you do it either. Just use a nice, room temperature water, and purified water. Go for purified water. It doesn't have to be distilled. You can use, purified water is fine. Just don't use straight up tap water, okay? You just mix it around, pour off the water, and then you pour in more water, mix it around, pour that off, and you keep doing this 100 times, okay? And you'll notice that as you do this washing of the ghee, it starts to get this different coloring. It becomes white, like all the yellow starts to come off of the ghee. And by the end of it, after 100 washings, you have this wonderful cold cream, and you can go and put it in your fridge. It's there for you to use anytime you want. I like to put mine in the fridge just because it feels good on my skin first thing in the morning. And also because water's been mixed into it. And so there could be a tendency for it to go bad if you leave it out at room temperature. So I do recommend refrigerating it. If you refrigerate it, it'll last a long time for you, okay? If you're like, oh my God, I don't want to sit there and do 100 washings of this ghee, that's like a little too intense for me. Another thing that you can do is you can actually do it in a mixer. And if you do it in a mixer, you can do it less than 100 times because it's going to really, get it whipped up so fast. It's also going to get a very whipped consistency to the ghee, which is kind of nice. It makes it sort of decadent. I've done it that way before too, when I've just been in a rush. I'm I don't have time to wash it 100 times. Certainly during Panchakarma, I like to do the traditional sadhana and do 100 washings. But you don't have to go that route. You can use a mixer. If you do it with a mixer, about 25 rounds minimum, you need to do at least 25 rounds will be right. And you'll know you're at the right place because the ghee will be white and it will be thick and it won't have any scent of butter at all. It'll be unscented, okay? And then it's good to go. I also like to get a little fancy. I like to put rose water in to do the last, when I'm doing it by hand, the last, 10 washings or so, just because I like to bring in that rose essence. And I just love rose so much. It's one of my plant allies, and it gives it a really nice quality. Also very anti-inflammatory. So if you're somebody who deals with rosacea, which I do deal with rosacea, but as you can see, my rosacea is really well managed because I've learned how to work with it. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's so wonderful. Okay, so you can bring that in if you want to. Ghee is multi-purposed, all right? And absolutely, for your abhyangas, especially this last week when we're focusing so much on deep nourishment, use ghee. It doesn't have to be washed ghee to put it on your body for an abhyanga. Just use straight up ghee. Warm up the ghee, put it all over your body. You'll see it feels so incredibly good. I can't relate to you how comforting it feels. It's just something you have to experience. And, with an abhyanga, you want to wash it off after anyway. You don't want that oil to sit on your skin for too long or overnight, because then you're going to dampen all that natural fire you just stoked. Okay. We don't want that. So, no more than like an hour of leaving your oil on your skin. Follow it with a bath or a shower. And that's perfect. Okay. So, yes, experiment with this. If you're brave, okay? If you're brave. I understand if you've never done neti before, it might just be a big enough leap for you to do it with water and sea salt. And if so, I think that's absolutely wonderful. It will really benefit you. But if you're very brave, maybe on your self-care Sunday, treat yourself to a warm ghee neti. And I would also say to do this, maybe like you could do this maybe once a week if it's something you really enjoy and you want to keep it as part of your regular practice going forward after Panchakarma. And it'll really serve you well, especially through the drier, colder winter season. Okay, I did it. I finally got it done. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, drop them on the comments for me. I will be happy to give you any clarity you need. Have a beautiful day and welcome to the final leg of our journey.